It just leads to confusion. I mean, if you take it back here, they're in really good positions in terms of being able to deal with this if they stay like this. If they start this, and say, for instance, the right back is coming on his side of the pitch and he says, I'm going to go and win it, it's coming on my side of the pitch. Or even if he doesn't, even if he says he's not going to win it, the next guy, centre half, one of them says, I'm going to win it. When that happens, right, and you say that, then one of you has to be the player that then sweeps here. Get round here and sweep and then provide cover in this area here. Watch what happens. There's zero cover in that area that I've just highlighted once there is confusion. Look, there you go. He gets the other side of him.
Yeah, and what it does is obviously it brings Bassey over from this position. He's got to then cover. Leaves Mo Salah in all this space. And from Mo Salah's point of view, listen, if this was me, I'd be taking a right foot touch here and I'd be shooting with my right foot. Mo Salah's, of course, a left-footed player coming in from the right-hand side. The good thing with this situation, he's got that much room that he can afford to bring it in onto his good foot, which he'll be just absolutely loving. Look at that. He can take a touch infield, which is very, very rare in that situation. So then he's coming in on his left foot and it makes it an easy-ish finish for a man of Mo Salah's quality.
Yeah, I'd be fuming as the goalkeeper, to be fair, with that right back and that right centre-half getting too close together. It leaves Bassey with a massive gap between them, and Daley Blint's not back covering. It just leaves gaps. And, you know, thankfully for Liverpool, they exploited them.
Yeah.
But then coming on to the retribution from Ajax getting back at them, it was a time when Trent Alexander-Arnold switched off. Look at the shape that they're in. Excellent shape. Happy with that. Back four, we've got for Liverpool. In front, solid. No gaps. Exactly what they didn't do against Napoli, in Naples, was to be compact and hard to play through. If we stop it here, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side there has got eyes on player here, on Berghaus, on the player there. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He's in a good shape with the back line still, but just lets Berghaus just run as he runs on. He's got to match his run. You can see there's no pressure on the ball from Salah. And so, as we were talking about before the match, Alexander-Arnold has to drop in and match the runner.
And you said there, he knows exactly what he's going to do. So why doesn't he run back with the player?
So you're right. We can see what's going to do. It's almost like he doesn't see the picture and doesn't recognise exactly what his role is defensively, or whether he's passing on that defensive role. I think I said before the game about his thought process were not sharp from a defensive point of view. And that was clear to see tonight as well.
I just want to ask both of you a question on that. My only theory, to answer your question, Jake, if we just take it back, do you think that Trent actually thinks he's blocking that pass and that he doesn't need to run, that there's no space to pass it? Maybe. I'm just trying to think why...
That's a gamble, though. That's the only thing is...
I mean, but a lot of the time, if you're in the right position, you think, well, the only one that's going to get me is over my head. Yeah. I'm actually blocking the channel here. Do you think he's actually thinking, well, there's no way they can pass it alongside? He's got to be thinking something.
Do you know, the only thing I would say in protection of Trent here, right, if I'm playing here, I'm Trent's eyes and ears there. That's me there in that position. And I'm saying to Trent, anything to feet, you go and get it. And basically stay in that position. I don't mind you staying there, because my thing will always, and it comes down to communication between the two players before the game. This area here, behind the fullback, was my area. I say to my right back, you go to the ball, go to the player, and if the ball goes over your head, that is me. And if I'm not there, you can shout at me.
Let's caveat this with the fact we know he's a phenomenally talented player, and in an Trent. And in an attacking capacity, we'll have a look later at just how great he was for Liverpool going forwards. But in this position here and a few other times this evening, what is the reason for the recovery run not being at the rate of the other players? How do we square that away? Yeah. Look at this here.
You're right, the intensity, I'm sure I've seen the stat, it was last season, he's the fastest player at Liverpool. And he's not showing that intent, that desire, that kind of... It's almost like getting the green light to go forward and he's off, head down as fast as he can do. From a defensive point of view, it just doesn't seem to register with him as quickly as it should do. I can't imagine it's out of desire to do it. I just think that there's not quite that mental sharpness to do that same, to have that same role. But we were talking as well, all right, what is the makeup of a right back to Jurgen Klopp? does he want him doing exactly those things, or is he measured more on his attacking prowess? Because we talked again, and he's been well documented tonight. Some of the great things that he can do. He great strike from 25 yards out, just whistled over the bar. His attacking, I don't think anyone doubts his attacking capabilities. I just think he would be better all round and more useful to the team if he could sharpen up on those decision making, because he's got the athleticism to do it. I think he's got the knowledge. He's a clever guy, but it's just having the application in key moments.
I mean, we can take it on to the winner, which we all felt was coming at times. But in this situation, from set pieces, I think aerial duels tonight, they won 73% of aerial duels, Liverpool. And in the box, they were so dominant. We were just sitting there going, but they haven't really hit the target for many of these set pieces yet. And Mo shouted earlier in the game, Matip will score tonight. And he came up with the winner. It was a great header in the end. Bassi doesn't do enough, I don't think, initially with the first challenge. Yeah, and they didn't really have any chance of winning the first contact in the box at any point of this game. And they got punished.